Good morning. Sorry, that last setup, I don't think anyone caught it, but I had it all piled weird and I didn't think anyone could hear me. So, good morning, good morning. This live comes to you from an awesomely weird experience I had this morning that then led me to let me just make sure all my sounds are turned off. Whoops. Sorry about that, everyone. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. So I had a weird experience this morning, and then it was exacerbated by some old issues and fears that have been coming up, and just like resentments and frustrations. And I thought, with it being the first day of October and the beginning of the last quarter for a lot of people, hi McCall, that today would be the perfect time to talk about this, because it's a big thing that a lot of people, especially moms, do. So I'll start with a background story and we'll kind of get into it. So you can see the name of this one is "The Only Rules You Can Break Are the Ones That You Create Yourself." So this morning I got a message from somebody asking me, saying, "Hey, you're in my group." And I said, and first thing, as soon as she said, "Hey, you're in your group," I knew, because the only time anyone ever messages me, "Hey, you're in your group," is because I broke a rule. Okay, these, Facebook groups, they have all these arbitrary rules in them that are perceived to keep people safe, or to stop people from being victims, or from over spamming, or whatever, right? So she says, "Hey, you're in my group," and I reply, "Oh, did I break a rule?" And she replies, "Yeah, we don't allow advertising." So I responded with, "Okay, you can just delete me, because I don't need to be in a group that doesn't allow advertising." And the reason why I say that is because any group that doesn't allow advertising, it's because whoever's running the group just wants to advertise their own stuff and is afraid of competition. So they're creating this boundary, this container where only they are allowed to share their information, their sales, their products, and nobody else is, because they have the belief that there aren't enough clients to go around, which is bullshit, because the only clients that are going to come to you are ones that you're calling in with your vibration anyway. So it doesn't matter if there's 10,000 people and everyone's posting their offers, because nobody's going to be a part of a group that's totally just spammy, therefore they're not going to be adding to it. But if they have a kick-ass offer, then maybe they want to share it in that container, because it seems like it's a good, appropriate place, which is what I thought. But I didn't realize that there was this rule, because I probably would have just deleted myself from that group, because I don't participate in groups that have the no advertising rule, because it's childish. So that is what led to my post earlier today, when I said that rules are childish, and the only once you realize that you're a sovereign, there's no victims. So these groups are created, and you have the opportunity to post whatever. So people are going to create content for groups that they want to be a part of, and if you feel like the person who's posting in your group isn't adding to it, then you can delete them. That's the point of being a moderator or an admin, right? But if you don't have fear of other people stealing your clients, then there shouldn't be a need for that. Well, that can go one step further when it's just talking about your life, okay? So as a mom, I create all sorts of fucking rules for myself every day. My to-do list is a rule, essentially. So last week, Ryan, my husband, and I got kind of into it, and I was like, I didn't finish my to-do list because of blah, blah, blah. And he's all like, "Once again, you're just making..." Hello, everyone. Hi, hello, Lamorla. Hi, Paul. Hi, McCall. Hi, all these people that I didn't see. Hello, good morning. So my husband and I got into it because I didn't get my to-do list done, and he was cleaning the kitchen and whatever. And he said something to me where he's like, "It doesn't matter why you didn't get your to-do list done. It didn't happen. Your because is just an excuse." And my because is because the baby wasn't feeling very well, or because the toddler wouldn't let me, or because we all fell asleep cuddling on the couch, or whatever. It's still an excuse, right? It's still a reason why my list didn't get done. And he's like, I don't care about your list. Your list is your list. The reason why I don't have a to-do list is because then I can't disappoint myself and have a reason to beat myself up later. And I was like, whoa, okay, hold on. Just time out with that right there, because what do I do all day? I tell you guys to put yourself at the top of your to-do list, right? Make sure that your self-care happens first. Yeah, becauses are so hard. Yeah, excuses are just bullshit. Just stop with the because. Because there's nobody to answer to. Okay, so that's the other point, is that who is going to inflict my consequences, right? The consequences that don't actually exist. So if I don't get my to-do list done, is there like really a consequence from my husband? I mean, really. I mean, he could be a little upset, but that's still his choice. And he could maybe hold out on sex, but that's still his choice. It's not really a consequence, right? I can always go just to go take care of myself. I can tell him that, whatever, you want to be mad at me because I didn't get my list done, then that's fine. But what if I just didn't have the list? What if I was just totally okay with right now, today, when this happens, it happens, and at the end of the day, when I close my eyes, I feel good about what I accomplished today. Whatever that was, maybe all I accomplished was a shower, but at least I accomplished it, and there's no list, there's no rules that I'm like holding myself accountable against. Now, this isn't to say that I don't have accountability and that I can just let everything go free, but again, that's because you think, we hear no rules and we immediately think straight anarchy and that nothing's ever going to get done and I'm just going to be sitting around being lazy. But that's still your choice, right? Do you see where I'm going with this? So you could be the type of person who says, ooh, if I don't have a to-do list, that means that I'm just going to sit around on social media all day and eat Oreos and drink coffee and then switch to wine once it's noon, and nothing would ever get done. So I need my to-do list. I have to have it. It holds me accountable. The list doesn't hold you accountable. You hold you accountable. So for me, I'm trying to get more clients to sign up for one-on-ones, but if I'm not holding the space for them, then they're not going to be able to fit into it. So yeah, right now the space isn't being filled with a one-on-one client, but that's the time that I allot to my self-care, my journaling, my meditation, whatever it is. And then once a one-on-one client shows up to fill that slot, it's not going to be anything new for my kids to be like, ooh, mom's not usually available, or she's usually available during this time. If I'm just always not available right then because I'm doing other stuff that's my self-care in anticipation for my one-on-one client, then it's not going to be a boundary that needs to be rearranged. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out where to move my like personal time, but the space is there for the client to come in and fill. So same thing with my to-do list. If I have a whole list of things that I need to do, I can just keep a running list in my phone and kind of just like glance at it. That's still like a boundary. That's still a hard, like, ooh, I'm not really making a to-do list, right? I'm just making like an ongoing list. No, you're still creating something outside of yourself to hold yourself accountable against when it's just within you. It's just your choice. And if you don't get anything done that day, there's not a because. The reason because was because you didn't decide that those things were worth your time doing. And that's totally okay. Sometimes sitting around watching Netflix all day is the only thing that you think is worth doing, because it doesn't matter. It's just what you decided. And that's what I mean by those are the only rules. But oh, Caryn, what about societal rules? What about societal standards? Well, before we go that far, let's look at something else. Let's just look at fear, because I was talking about fear yesterday, right? So a fear of heights. That's a huge fear for me. I think one of my cats just got a bird. If you hear that horrendous noise. Sorry. Or they're mating. I don't know. But, so the fear of heights thing. It's a really hard one for me. But then I wake up and my mentor is in Greece right now. She hiked 22 kilometers up and 22 kilometers back down by herself in like 5 hours, when usually just the 22 kilometers up takes people 3 hours, okay? And the views she's posting are breathtaking, but they're high. They're fucking high, man. I was like, Lorna, don't die. And then I realized that I work on clients that do this. One of my best clients used to Snapchat me from like the top of mountains where like if he even stepped a centimeter to the other side, he was toppling down 10,000 feet. And he was Snapchatting me, right? So obviously they don't believe in gravity to the level that I believe in gravity, right? Because I'm terrified of heights. I hate the body reaction. I'm really working on it. I'm pretty sure just to fucking get over that shit. But it made me realize that even that boundary, even that fear, even that like gravity exists is still a boundary that I've set for myself, and it's not a universal constant, right? Because gravity is gravity if it's gravity, but these people that hike up to the top of cliffs and Snapchat you with from 10,000 feet down or up or whatever the... Sorry, I totally just lost signal for a second. I hope you're still with me. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It paused. I'm so sorry. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't pause again. I'm really sorry. So, these people who are doing all these extreme sports, they don't have the same relationship with fear, or not with fear, with gravity as I have. So obviously the boundary of gravity actually isn't a hard, set, fast rule like you would think. Okay, so now let's go one step further. Because there are no consequences, and the worst thing that's going to happen is that someone's going to report this video. Whoop-de-fucking-do. The next step, you look at crime. And you're like, well, Caryn, a hard, fast rule is that you don't steal from people, and you don't murder people. And that might be a good rule for you. Those are great boundaries to have, but realize that they're not boundaries for everyone. Okay? People murder other people all the time. There shouldn't be a judgment on good or bad because some murder is justifiable, right? When a 7-year-old shoots a pedophile coming into his house, he still killed that guy, right? So all of a sudden these lines of murder are oh, that's self-defense. But you still took someone's life. Okay? I hope that this is making sense to you guys. That, like, leave me some hearts, some loves, some something if this makes sense. These rules, these constructs that we have are all individual. Completely and totally up to you. If you think the risk or the reward outweighs the risk, you're going to do it whether it's societal norms or not. If you think the reward of standing on top of a cliff that's 20,000 feet up above sea level and taking a Snapchat is worth the reward that you get, and the reward is greater than the risk, then you're going to do it. If you are a murderer or a burglar, let's say a burglar, and you think that the reward of burglaring this house is greater than the risk that it's going to be to burgle the house, you're still creating your own rule. The society rule doesn't matter anymore. The consequence doesn't matter to you anymore. And yes, I'm going to an extreme, but then you look at, again, the mommy to-do list. My favorite thing to compare anything in life to, because moms all have a fucking to-do list. Everyone has one. Okay, we all have our to-do list. But we create these random consequences in our brains. Oh, our husbands are going to be mad. My husband's going to be mad at me. Who fucking cares if your husband's mad at you? That's his choice, okay? Oh, well, if I don't clean the house, he's gonna leave me. The fuck? He's gonna leave you? Then he'd have to find someone else to clean his house, okay? And trust me, guys, I know that moms like to say that all these horrible things are gonna happen. My phone is ringing. My phone does this. It's vibrating because someone's calling me, but it's not, like, actually popping up any way for me to answer the phone or anything like that. It's great. Okay, so you have, oh, my husband's gonna leave me. If I do these things and I don't clean his house. Like, all I do all day is I sit at home and I have all these other things going on, and he goes to work all day. So all of a sudden you're now putting what he does higher than you. You're valuing your husband's job more than your own job, which is ridiculous for two reasons. One, I guarantee you, you didn't decide by yourself that you were going to be a stay-at-home mom. This is specifically for people who are stay-at-home moms, or, mostly stay-at-home moms, even if you have like a work-at-home gig thing. I guarantee you that you didn't decide this on your own, okay? You guys decided together as a family unit that you would be the one that stayed at home and that he would go to work, okay? Secondly, has he ever actually told you that he would leave you if you didn't clean his house? Because I don't know any man who has done that. I don't. Like, we think it in our heads because we're like, well, what the fuck did we do all day? But your husband knows that you were dealing with the children all day, and if he could hack it, he would say, how about you go get a job and I'll stay home? But he knows that he couldn't handle it, so he just doesn't he's happy to go and work and make the money, because dealing with the kids all day is fucking crazy hell, and only certain people with certain convictions can do it. So then look at the work out of the home mom, okay? The work out of the home mom has all of these ideas that she's ruining her kids because she can't be with them. She can't stay at home with them all the time, without realizing or having gratitude for the moments she does have, because trust me, as someone who was raised by parents who worked outside of the house, both of them, and as an only child, I appreciated every moment I had with my parents even more. So when they didn't add to it because they were too busy being guilty about not being around the whole rest of the time, I could tell. I could feel it. I noticed that they weren't as involved with me. And when I asked later on, well, we were so upset that we couldn't be with you all the time, or we were worried about money, or we were doing all these things instead of being present at the moment with you, hanging out with you for the few moments that I did have in between soccer practice and ballet and school and homework and blah, 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 blah. So then again, you've created this rule for yourself. Your rule is that, okay, I work at home all day, or work away from the home all day, and then I've got to come home and we've got to clean and we've got this, and you create this schedule and you create another to-do list. You've got your work to-do list, then you come home and you've got your at-home to-do list, and the whole while you're beating yourself up because all you really want to do is play Candyland. But for some reason you've like created this belief that if you play Candyland, something's gonna happen. Some bad thing is gonna happen. Whatever it is that you've made up, you're gonna fall. The gravity from being up on that 10,000-foot cliff of playing Candyland is gonna make you fall flat on your face, and you're gonna die somehow. You see how ridiculous this is? And yet we do it. We do it all the time. Take it another level. Let's look at self-help, self-journaling work. The stuff that I do. I know, I'm one of those crazy people. I make fun of what I do all day. I make fun of the fact that I'm a massage therapist because I think it's fucking ridiculous that I gotta teach people how to stand straight. Or convince them that they're standing incorrectly to begin with, okay? Your body is the biggest boundary that you have, and the way you treat it definitely affects the way that you treat the outside world. I really can't tell if the lighting is just super shitty or if it's because my glasses are like partially transitioned. Sorry if the lighting sucks, as I'm realizing this after the fact. So boundaries when you're inside of a coaching, like a one-on-one container. Let's use my massage therapy for example. I don't threaten my clients that I'm going to stop working with them if they don't do their repatterning exercises. A lot of you guys know I'm a massage therapist. I specialize in structural alignment therapy, which means that I can actually help you realign your body so that your clavicles are like this, nice and flat and straight, and not like this, which is what happens when you sit like this all day and your clavicles pop out and then they end up here by your shoulders. Or standing with a duck foot out or pigeon toes or whatever it is. So this is what I do for my hands-on clients, I should say, because I got clients that don't live close enough for me to do that, and with them I do more energy work and suggest that they find a massage therapist because massage therapy is absolutely necessary in this day and age. But the clients that I have know that it's their job to do the repatterning exercises, and that there's only so far that I can take them by myself. I can do massage on them over and over and over again, but it's only going to get them to this far, and it's going to take their own work to go further and to really see all of the results. So you think about this when it comes to your own choices, and you're like, okay, I have the intention of doing some journal work that my coach gave me. This is a personal example. I fucking hate journaling, guys. I will tell you this 100,000 times. I hate journaling. I fucking hate it. My handwriting goes to shit. I don't understand the questions. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to write. I don't know the correct answer. And I realized that I was having this conversation with me today, and I was like, it's another boundary. I am making up a rule. I'm making up a rule for myself that somehow this journal question, I have to answer it with a pen and paper. I can't type it, or I can't say it out loud, or I can't have like a conversation with myself or whatever. I was making up this rule that it had to be handwritten and it had to be a certain way, and that there was a certain right answer. So that's a really hard one for rule breakers, is that we think that there's a right and a wrong. There's a black and a black and a white. And gray areas freak us the fuck out. We don't like gray areas at all. So when you're trying to do your own work and your own self-work, and you're like, okay, I really want to do this. I paid this coach to help me, but now she's giving me journal prompts and I don't like journal. I don't like journaling. I'm just not going to do it. And I've created this boundary on myself that I don't like journaling, and that I hate doing that work, and that it's fucking pointless anyway, and I end up just going down a rabbit hole. But what if I change my boundary? What if instead of creating any boundary, I was okay with just reading the questions and having that kind of be like my thoughts throughout the day, is like, ooh, I'm not really thinking, let's go back and think about that question. That question was about, am I feeling really open to receive, or whatever the question is. Or, for someone who hates journal prompts, I give them to clients because they are a good tool. But I don't tell my clients they have to journal. I don't tell them you need to go find a journal, you need to get some good pens, and you really need to write it out, and if your hand isn't cramping by the end of these, then you're not doing it enough. No. I'll send you the journal prompts, but again, it's your choice what you do with them. Because the only person whose consequences matter are your own. If you don't do the journal prompts and you're still able to quantum leap and realize what a fucking badass mom you are, then you didn't need the journal prompts. So why would I enforce some arbitrary rule that if you don't do journal prompts, then you don't work with me? Or if you don't do repatterning exercises, you don't work with me. Or if you don't do this, you don't work with me. If I'm aligned with you energetically and you're seeing the results you want, then all the rest of it doesn't matter, and the rules are arbitrary anyway. The boundaries that we set are always movable too. Like I was saying at the very beginning, I have a time blocked out right now where I do my self-reflection, but if someone wanted that time slot as my one-on-one, then I would make that a one-on-one slot, and I would just find a different slot within my day to do my personal work. But if I don't create that one-on-one spot for them to fill, then there's nowhere for them to go into, right? So with your to-do list, if you just decide that you're going to throw out your to-do list, what would the consequence really be? Would there really be a consequence? Like, honestly. And you can even, if you want to talk to your husband about this, please do. My husband thinks it's hilarious to have a lot of these conversations because he didn't even know that those are things that women are thinking about all the time. He's all like, I don't care that you didn't get your to-do list done. I do care that it seems like I come home and you've made the kitchen a mess and haven't even like attempted to clean it. But I don't care about why that didn't happen. It's bothering me, and because it's bothering me, I'm gonna go clean the dishes. Has nothing to do with you. It's a little annoying, but it's not anything to really do with you, right? And that's how easy men are, and why it's so frustrating to them when we have all these crazy like, but if I do this, then you're gonna do this, and then if I do that, you're gonna, and they're like, whoa. Who the fuck said that? Nobody said that. Nobody said that if you don't do my dishes, I'm gonna walk out and take the kids. I just like having a clean kitchen. So realize that a lot of your boundaries that you're putting on yourself, a lot of your rules that you're inflicting are ones that you're putting on yourself. You are creating this container, and you are the ones that is allowed to rewrite the container, because you are not a child. Now, if my 10-year-old doesn't do the dishes after I've asked him to, I, as the adult, we have consequences. You don't get your television, you don't get, okay? There's not an adult telling me that if I don't do my dishes that I don't get TV. And that's the part that we have missed. For some reason, we become parents and we're still looking for other people to parent us. We're always watching outside of us to see where the consequence is. Ooh, if I don't clean my house and my friend comes over, then she's gonna think, do you see how far away you already are from yourself? Like, it doesn't matter. Stick to you. You know you. If you have a friend that's gonna leave and not hang out with you because of your house being messy, you probably don't need that kind of friend to begin with. I'm just saying. My house is not clean. If you have a problem with that, we should not be friends. It's not a disgusting pig pen, but I actually live here. I am not expecting Martha Stewart to come over. I don't know her. She's not coming. And I live here. I live in my house. It's not, and when I was younger, we didn't really live in my house. So it made sense that my house was clean all the time. We were gone 8 to 10 hours every single day during the week. We had events going on the weekends. Like, we didn't really live in our house, so it wasn't hard to keep it clean. There was also 1 child and 2 adults. I have 3 children and 2 adults. Totally different ball games. So why would I be continuing to hold myself to the standards that my 10-year-old self was held at? Except for that, I don't like breaking the rules, or I didn't. It's still always been a problem. Maybe you wouldn't know that now with me, but it's a huge problem for me to know, like, what am I allowed to do? Where am I allowed to go with this? What is the right answer? Where's the correct answer? What's my consequence if I don't do this? And I'm here to tell you, there is no right answer, there are no rules, and there's no such thing as consequences unless you believe they exist. Remember the people climbing on the cliff. They aren't afraid of gravity. The same way that I'm afraid of gravity. I don't know what your relationship with gravity is. Maybe you don't believe that there's gravity. I think it exists. But my relationship with it is different than those people who go hiking. But my relationship is also better with gravity than, say, my dad, who wouldn't even, like, get on the trail. Wouldn't even start hiking if he even knew that there was an inkling of an area that was higher than, like, 4 feet that he could fall. So my relationship with gravity is better, but it's not as high as those who are hiking by themselves 22 kilometers there and 22 kilometers back in 5 hours. Because that's scary to me. I don't want to be by myself in the middle of Greece that I don't know anybody, hiking on a trail that I've never hiked before. But I'm getting there. One day I'll be there. So thank you so much for joining me. I know this was a little ranty, and there was not even ranty, just a little all over the place. If you guys have questions, feel free to reach out. You can ask them in here during the replay or private message me. I'm always available. And just remember that you create your reality. You are the master of your reality. You are the one who dictates what consequences actually exist. And go out and have some fun this week. And I love you.